Hello, good afternoon to everyone. Well, it's my first video from today, and as I mentioned in my last video from Intermediate Advanced series, we were going to study today the reported speech, okay? So, let's get started. But before we begin, don't forget, if you haven't done so, subscribe to my channel and watch the series of videos I have recorded. I have more than 100 videos from the Intermediate Advanced series and almost 70 videos from the basic videos, in which are narrated in Portuguese basic videos, right? Okay, let's get going. So as I mentioned, today is reported speeches day. What is reported speech? We have the direct speech when someone says something to you directly, okay? For example, I ask you, what time does the store, what time does the bookstore open? So this is a direct speech, okay? It's a question which is done directly to someone. Me, for example, I'm asking something to you. What time does the bookstore open? Okay? So, if I want to report this speech, I would say, Thales wanted to know what time the bookstore opened. So this is the reported speech, okay? Thales wanted to know what time the bookstore opened. There is a rule here, which we will study. For example, direct speech comes in form of a question. So in questions we have the auxiliary verb. We have to worry about the word order. Okay, so first the auxiliary verb comes, then the subject, then the verb. The direct speech, the reported speech, on the other hand, comes not in form of a question. It comes in affirmative sentence or negative sentence, depending, but it doesn't have a question sentence. So the order, the word order, is similar to an affirmative negative sentence in which the subject comes first, then the verb. And in affirmative sentences, we don't use auxiliary verb. Okay, but why is the sentence in the past? Basically, when you have in the direct speech a verb in the present tense, the reported speech or indirect speech comes in the simple past, okay? So that's the difference. I guess we have already talked about it, but in previous lessons we have talked, I remember. But this lesson, I'm talking about the reported questions, right? This is a question which is reported, okay? Let's see another question in which we can report. Are you willing to travel abroad? So I'm asking you a question, or she asked me a question, okay? Let's suppose I'm talking to a woman and she asks me this. are you willing to travel abroad? Then I have to report this question, okay? She asked me whether I was willing to travel abroad. So let's analyze this sentence. First, this is a question, right? Are you willing to travel abroad? This is a direct speech. It's not a reported speech. It's a direct speech because it comes with a question mark. You have the word order, which is typically of a question. You have the verb first, the subject after, and the main verb. Which verb tense or what verb tense is this? This is the present continuous, in which you have the verb to be plus the main verb followed by ing. Willing to travel. Okay, so I have to report this speech, right? She asked me whether has the same meaning of if. She asked me if, or she asked me whether I was willing to travel abroad. So here we have a question. So the word order here is changed. Verb first, subject later. So here is different, as we don't have a question sentence. She asked me whether I was willing. So the word order is like this, the subject and the verb, okay? As if it was an affirmative or negative sentence. And as a matter of fact, it is an affirmative sentence, as we don't have a question mark here. We don't have. So I was willing. So why do I use was instead of are? The present continuous becomes past continuous, right? The direct speech, when it comes in present, I have to put it into simple past or past continuous. Indirect, reported. So that's the rule. When you have present, you turn into past. Present continuous, past continuous, okay? Simple present, simple past, and so forth. Let's see another. Do you have free time now? I'm asking you a question, or someone is asking me a question. Let's suppose a friend of mine asked me this. Do you have free time now? A friend of mine asked me if I had free time then. So this is the question itself. We have a question mark. We have the auxiliary verb in the simple present. Do you have? So when we have present tense, the reported speech comes into the past, okay? So a friend of mine asked me if I had. As it is an affirmative sentence, I don't use auxiliary verb in complete sentences. I have to change the verb have to had, right? Present, past. And I have to change the adverb of time. Now becomes then, okay? So, as I mentioned, it's not difficult, but you have to pay attention, right, to what we are seeing here. Mom asked me, for example. Where are you going? This is the direct speech. We have this, mom asked me, and then we have quotes, right? When we have quotes, it means that I'm describing exactly what she said, right? So where are you going? These were her exact words to me. This is direct. Now let's report this question. Mom asked me where I was going. Simple present, or it's not simple present, this is present continuous. Present continuous, past continuous. Direct question, the word order from a question in which we have the verb first and the subject afterwards. And here we don't have a question, a direct question. So I use the word order from an affirmative sentence. Right? It's an indirect question, but it doesn't have a question mark. So I put the subject and the verb afterwards. Okay? Bob asked Sheila, can you speak French? Okay? First, this is direct speech. I have the question mark, I have a question. These were the exact words Bob said to Sheila. Can you speak French? Right? We have quotes here. Now let's ask this question in a reported question style. So Bob asked Sheila if or whether, right? She could speak French. As I mentioned before, I had a series of videos about the reported speech, right? And I'm almost sure I have already recorded about it, but the focus of those videos back then were not the reported questions. So this lesson is focused on reported questions. So, can you speak French? Bob asked Sheila if or whether she could speak French. So can becomes could. Can, present. Could is the simple past of the verb can, right? Can expresses abilities, know-how, possibilities, you name it, okay? It has many applies. You can use these many uses, right? In different situations you can use it. Let me see if we... let's see one more. How long have you been studying English? How long have you been studying English? This is a direct question. This is the present perfect continuous, right? The present perfect continuous has this structure, have or has, plus been, plus the main verb followed by ing. So, let's suppose my teacher asked me this question, okay? So, my teacher asked me how long I had been studying English. So the present perfect continuous, which is the direct speech, right? Direct. I have the present perfect continuous. The present perfect continuous in the reported question or reported speech becomes the past perfect continuous, okay, in direct speech. So my teacher asked me how long I had been studying English. So the only change I have here is turn have into had. The rest of the sentence remains the same, and I have to be aware of one fact. Direct questions, the verb comes before the subject. This is not a direct question, so the word order is subject, verb, object, okay? Okay, we haven't seen everything, all the possibilities here. I guess we have seen them all. I want to express here to teach you or to show you how these questions can be used, right? And we have many situations in which we can use the reported speech. So a reported question, two things you have to care about. First of them, the word order. You have to change the adverb of time, as in here, now becomes then, right? And so forth. The word order, the adverb time, and the verb tense. Because all the present tenses become past tenses. And I advise you to search. I'm gonna see my playlist, but I'm almost sure I have already recorded videos from the direct speech. I'm going to check here. Yes, I have. Look here. I have recorded 5 videos of reported speech, okay? Sometime in the past. So I have reported speech part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, okay? There are many videos you can watch if you want a deep dive into reported speech. The purpose of this video was to show the reported questions, how you can report questions, okay? It's reported speech, of course, but reported questions. So I'm not going to show all the verb examples, right? Just examples involving questions and how you can report them correctly, okay? So I hope you have some fun and see you next video.